Welcome and thank you for joining me for this look at the Hallmark Keepsakes that I chose for 2025, Part 1. Starting with Belle and the Wardrobe from the animated Beauty and the Beast. While it is true to the design of the character, three sides of this ornament are kind of boring to look at, but they did bother to actually sculpt the details around the back of her head. I think that the facial expression that they chose is a great representation of the intensity of her character, and they've done a nice job adding colour to sculpture to bring this two-dimensional character into our three-dimensional world. And I would include the handles on the cupboards and drawers for that as well. This particular outfit for Belle, there's not really much to say about it, so they've essentially hit the brief and no notes. And the thing I'm always checking on my character figures is, how's the face? And it's a little hard to get an angle on this one, but I would say 9 out of 10. The eyes do look a little funny to me, but I think it's pretty good considering the way some ornament faces can look. And moving on to the Lovegood House from Harry Potter. The building may not have given them much to work with because I do find, again, the back is fairly lackluster. And considering how few details there really are to work with, I feel like they maybe could have put a bit more work into the dirigible plum bush. I'm obviously very happy that it's there and there is some interesting textures around it, but I do wish that it was maybe a little more dimensional. I do like that the main body of the building is both textured and painted in various colours to emphasise the texture. And especially in details like the front railing, I think they've done a great job capturing the slightly askew way of the Lovegoods. This one comes with a spot for a Christmas tree light, and unfortunately it is in, I think, the worst place they could possibly have put it, because this ornament sits so beautifully on its base. And of course, that means the hole goes straight up underneath. So if you're planning to hang it on a tree, you probably don't care. But I have a year-round display of these, and ones with the holes in the bottom make getting everything to sit and not look a bit janky a bit difficult. And I'm using lower intensity battery LEDs for this demonstration, so I chose to put 4. And I quite like doing this because I can put them up higher and lower to give a bit of variance and make it look like there's lights in some of the windows. And it was a complete fluke that I managed to position one in the front window, but I really like it there. And moving on to this year's variant of the Holiday Lighthouse series. This one has some more of that dreaded loose glitter sprinkled for the snow, but other than that I have no complaints about this ornament. All of the different finishes on the house and the base are actually 3D texture, and even though they're fairly small, I'm pretty impressed with the detail in Santa and the polar bear, and it looks like a really inviting place to spend a winter afternoon. This ornament runs on a keepsake power cord, which in this case means that wherever it's plugged in, the lights will be on, but there are no other features like music included. As someone who likes to be able to create a cozy nook vibe, I love that these ornaments just stay on without the music, so you can have all of your ornaments on, creating an atmosphere without having a cacophony of noise at the same time. The interior lights are a little dull, and the blue-white light bulb that they've used for the lighthouse didn't really want to pick up on video. I think if you were in a duller environment, it would be much better. But even with my little filming lights, the fireplace out the front showed up really well. Moving now to sort of a book snapshot moment of Harry Potter and the Mirror of Erised from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Oh, that felt wrong. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. The back of the ornament is one of the illustrated versions of the book cover. It's not the one I personally had, so if this was all the ornament was, it wouldn't be nostalgia enough for me. But I love this take on like a 3D book moment, because who hasn't dreamt of their favourite books popping to life out of the pages? And this seems to be a book-specific moment rather than a snapshot taken out of the movies. A lot of the ornament is simple, but that's keeping with the idea that half of it is just a 2D rendering of a book page. So the details that we do have the chance to really pop out. And moving to this year's version of Season's Treatings, a charcuterie board. I think it's amazing how much 3D detail they've been able to get into such a simple idea, including crimping the ends of the sausages and the sides of the biscuits. And obviously, except for the flat back, it is an ornament that really needs to be appreciated from a lot of different angles. And onto a miniature bird in painted bunting. And I really love my growing collection of little rainbow birds. Typical to this style of bird, we've got a little foliage dangling off the bottom. And they certainly haven't shied away from the colours in this one. And for the most part, I would say the paint job on this one I would consider pretty good. Again, like most of these birds, I do find they bleed a little around the edges, but that's only if you're getting way up in its face, so take a step back and just appreciate it. The gold edging, creating an almost simplistic filigree look, is dimensional as well as painted in a metallic finish. If you've found any of this helpful or interesting, please consider subscribing and stick around to see what comes out next, because we've just received our order from Hallmark's second release. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.